Welcome everyone! WrestleVerse continues the coverage of the Impact AEW crossover event, and it's just now expanded. So before I get into this, I was originally going to talk about what the hell happened on Monday Night Raw, but then I heard this happen, and I said, nope, this takes precedence to me, because Orton wearing his tidy whities on live television with a red nose was clearly less important than the crossover event. So, after Hard to Kill, Kenny Omega went ahead and defeated Rich Swann in the six-man tag team match involving the Good Brothers and Moose and Chris Sabin of the Motor City Machine Guns. Now, the crossover event continues as, well, it comes into Impact Wrestling, continuing their storyline, which is looking more and more exciting because this stopped being about Kenny Omega now. But before we get into that, Tony Khan went on a podcast with Renee Young and revealed that this whole idea is 100% Kenny Omega's idea. So you may praise Kenny Omega for this moment. But that was a podcast. I'm pretty sure it was for Renee Young, but I probably could be wrong. But yeah, he was on a podcast with Renee Young, or by her real name, but I can't pronounce her last name, so I'm just going to call her Renee Young. So, yeah. So, Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, come out in the ring before they brag about how they're the draw of the wrestling world. Carl talks about how he and Doc teamed up with Kenny Omega, the buddy, defeating Rich Swann, Chris Sabin, and Moose. Chris Sabin comes out onto the stage, interrupts Carl and Doc before saying that he and Alex are going to come back for the tag titles, and that they want their rematch down the road. And this leads into Chris Sabin revealing that he has a tag team partner for now. And let's just say this: they'll be sorry for their damn luck, because James Storm returns to Impact Wrestling, and his cowboy hat, super kick party style wrestling, even though he's not a high flyer that much, and he's like in his 40s by now, is back on Impact Wrestling in his Beer City gear and ready to start raising hell. But before anything can break down, a surprise happens. Yes. For millennia, he has stood among Impact Wrestling through space and time. But not say that all those who wander are never truly lost. For you see, Matt Hardy, currently playing his Vince McMahon obvious persona because AEW lacks subtlety at times, and he has, and with his clients, Private Party, and you are all invited, emerged from the crossover event, joining in and saying how they're here to basically kick ass. I said, well, you know, the Impact wrestlers are like, yeah, this is a private conversation, not a private party. Yes, we were simply going to brawl each other to the death, and then you will all come in and take the scraps. So, yeah. As this was announced that this will be the main event, Private Party taking on Chris Sabin and Storm, which will be a #1 contendership match. It will be an interesting round if Private Party actually wins. And with Matt Hardy claiming that he's going to take about 80% budgetary of their victory earnings and their money and monetization, and because Vince taught him that to be a screw jobber. But that's not the end of the crossover event. Right now, Rich Swann comes out later on in the night, where he declares how he came close to pinning Kenny Omega, and how he's now focused on Moose. But considering Rebellion has the Omega logo, I'm pretty certain that's the end days for Rich Swann, if the belt collector wants to come collect. And, well, Rich Swann and Moose have their final outing, and they brawl, and Rich Swann gets the win over that, so we'll have to see their match down the road. We'll see if Kenny Omega makes an appearance in this. It's kind of guaranteed. Don Callis was not part of the show. Also, passive aggressive Tony Khan and his buddy Jerry Lynn and Tony Schiavone, he have all united under their paid advertisement system, where Tony Khan and Jerry Lynn are revealed, oh, by the way, I'm backstage, Impact. Hi, I have my cash. I'm going to go out there for the main event, and I'm going to watch your friends. I'm going to watch my clients, my workers, first kick Impact's ass as part of my retaliation strategy. And yeah, this is where things got interesting. So, Chris Sabin and James Storms versus Private Party! With Matt Hardy in tow, who have a pretty good match. It was pretty good for what it was. Like, and I love James Storms when he does his veteran stuff, where this is the highlight of the match for me. When James Storm is down and Private Party tries to get a pin on him, I can't remember which one. I keep trying to keep track of everybody and their names. I can recognize their faces, but I can't, for some reason, recognize their names unless you're, Matt Hardy or extremely trying to not get me confused. But, Matt Hardy... And the commentators also pointed out how, isn't this like a outlandish, outdated sense of pro wrestling business move? Oof, yeah. It's been established since last year when that whole third-party war started, but we don't really talk about that here on Impact. We can't really directly say the name. Heck, Matt isn't even allowed to say Jeff Hardy's name unless he wants to get sued. So, yeah. So yeah, the highlight for me in this match was James Storm using a veteran move that honestly I wish was done more, where Pirate Party gets a pin on him, and instead of just being, when he's not near the ropes, he knows he doesn't have enough strength to fully kick out of it. He instead raises his shoulder just enough to get out. Just to get out of the pin and interrupt the count, while also moving his body to get closer to the ropes. So he can, get the rope break. So it's telling that they're actually trying that this is a classic move I haven't seen in a long time. So yeah, and then right before James Storm and Chris Sabin could get the win, Jerry Lynn and Tony Khan, who have been sitting in the crowd, well, lack thereof, please don't remind me, Impact, of the current state of the world, since now there's apparently a new variant running around in LA that's vaccine resistant. We're not going to get crowds back this year, are we? So, yeah, Private Party. Okay, so this storyline was already interesting with Kenny Omega, and now you got Matt Hardy and Private Party getting involved. With Bullet Club reforming, BC Good Bros who's teaming up, BC Elite if you want to go with the Young Bucks as well, but we don't know how the relationship's currently looking. But moving on from that, but now you got Matt Hardy and the Private Party gang going ahead and showing up on Impact, and Impact is yet to fully retaliate. Tony Khan has so far only done paid advertisements and a passive-aggressive attitude, but never really got involved. Then the trainer, Jerry Lynn, gets involved and stops the match and grabs the ankle of Chris when the ref is distracted, and Private Party then hit Chris with the gin and juice to Chris and for the pin and get the victory. Yeah, Tony Khan has actively gotten involved in a match via using Jerry Lynn. So now everyone's pissed off. Meanwhile, and then after Team Matt Hardy and Private Party got their victory celebrations and they're ready to party, Karl Anderson and Doc Gallows of the Good Bros come out, ready to raise hell with them, raising the titles over their heads. It's with Private Party forcing them to move it down. Oh, by the way, Valkyrie was arrested for trying to murder John Bravo. Yeah, that was a thing. That was one way to end a wedding. But anyways, I'll get back to that part. So they end the night with Private Party, Chris Sabin, Storm, and the Good Brothers raising hell, brawling all over the ring. Probably there's going to be an extended cut on YouTube if they do that. Where they're just raising hell, ready to and just have it, and this is just like, oh god, like this is so surreal. Like I've seen Matt in Impact. He has a history there. In fact, I'm surprised he hasn't been. In fact, is he part of the Impact Hall of Fame yet, or will he be one day? But this is like how long ago since he was last on Impact? Was that like when the whole legal issue went down, and thus the broken gimmick war happened? Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. So it is interesting under this new weight of management. But yeah. And now you got this bigger crossover event. It has to lead to a massive match down the road. One of my buddies, Lex, from the ATW group, actually thought, hey, what if this is actually going to lead to the true first Blood and Guts match after it got delayed? Which will be interesting. Impact versus AEW in a Blood and Guts match. Yeah, that will be freaking awesome. Shout out to him. But I'll put his account in the description. But yeah, it's just fun. It's just so fun for me to see this crossover event. And now we get something even bigger going on. Now it's no longer just a Kenny Omega story. It's now an All Elite Wrestling story because now AEW has directly gotten involved in Impact's business. And it's not just the talent making their own business, saying that, oh, well, there's a contractual agreement between AEW for open borders. No, Tony Khan has had his trainer, Jerry Lynn, legendary Jerry Lynn, actively get involved in the match, which directly says, we're coming for you, Impact. And our name is All Elite. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? And Tara Valkyrie. So yeah, Tara Valkyrie was confirmed to be the murderer, the would-be murderer of Johnny Bravo. Yeah, and now she framed I'm trying to remember his name, but yeah, she framed him and is going to jail. So they go ahead and say that with luck she'll end up in Jacksonville. At worst, she'll end up in Stanford for 2 with an option of 3 years. And then the detective goes ahead and says, because he's wearing his detective hat, says, well, what if she ends up in Baltimore? And they don't even comment on that. Jacksonville State or Stanford Maximum Penitentiary. My God. I hear Stanford Maximum Penitentiary is hell. It's royally hell. Like, they punish people just for doing hobbies even. Like, they have hobby policies where they can't allow people to have hobbies. Do you know how cruel that is? Also, they bribe the government because they have a cruel, unusual leadership with a warden who outstays his welcome to this point in his lifetime. And yeah. But I have heard that if the trial goes well and she's able to get a lesser sentence for, attempted murder, because the U.S. court system really helps that much, the American justice system can say something about that. She'll probably go to Stanford Maximum Penitentiary State Prison's sister prison in Orlando. Yeah, that's a lesser, harsher environment. I hear they allow some expressive thoughts on occasion, so long as it ends well. So we'll have to see how that goes in that trial. I'm definitely not referencing anything like they did. So we'll have to see where they go with that. So yeah, this crossover event continues. Oh god. I'm just so excited. Like I'm still excited seeing what I saw tonight, and man, this is awesome. This is an awesome time to be a wrestling fan that's not just WWE to me. To see crossover event happening for the first time in God knows how long. That's not New Japan Pro Wrestling and their crossover events in Japan. We're getting a North American crossover event going on. So, yeah, I'm very optimistic. I'm very optimistic so far with AEW and Impact Wrestling's crossover event. We'll have to see where that goes. But right now, it looks like we'll probably be expecting a response from Impact soon in AEW Dynamite. Right? Maybe this coming Wednesday, since Private Party did get involved in this business and they do have a 6-man tag team match. We could see hell raised. But that's tomorrow. This is tonight, and this was fun. Private Party invading Impact Wrestling with Matt Hardy and taking half their money and taking over half their percentage as profits. So you'll have to. So I'll catch you all next time on WrestleVerse. This was Neo Reality Entertainment. Eric Brown. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other channels in the description, and I'll see you all next time. Stay tuned for more. Take care out there, especially in LA. We'll see you all soon. Peace.